Spain didn't win Euro 2024. Wait, hear me out. Spain didn't just win Euro 2024. Spain absolutely destroyed the competition, and they are now the most decorated team in the Euros with 4 titles. They didn't just win their games in the tournament, they dominated it, and there's something scary people aren't noticing. This is just the beginning. Spain might go on to win the World Cup. Argentina will be a dangerous team for the 2026 World Cup, but there is something that sets Spain apart from them. Argentina, who just won the 2024 Copa America, are still a little bit reliant on the godlike figure that is Lionel Messi. But for Spain, they don't have such a superstar. They have a team. No one is superior to any other person in that Spain team. The big difference to all the other countries is that we are a team, and there is no one that is above the rest, Pedri said before the tournament. Spain's coach Luis de la Fuente also agrees with Pedri's assessment. He said, "I have 26 great players, and I'm just lucky that they are all Spanish. They are a merry bunch of ballers, and they are also young." Well, relatively. The older ones among them already have replacements, and even they aren't so old that they wouldn't be able to compete at the 2026 World Cup. The defensive line, who are the much older of the bunch already, have heirs. For instance, there's Pau Cubarsí, who is deemed as Piqué's heir among other players. We have young players and older players. It is not only a team for the present, but also a team for the future, Juan Mata said. So, Spain seem ready for the future. They are ready for domination, and they have finally put the horrors of their recent failures in international tournaments behind them. In the 2016 Euro, Spain were basking in the glory of their dominance in international football, where they won the Euro 2008, World Cup 2010, and added the Euro 2012 to it. However, that 2016 edition of the tournament was a different story. Italy ended their dreams in the last 16 of that tournament. It was a dark period for Spain, the end of a glorious era. The signs of their impending failure was their failed presence in the 2014 World Cup, which ended in a large defeat. They were the defending World Cup champions, but could only watch on in horror as the Netherlands embarrassed them in a 5-1 defeat. Their trusted possession game had been found out, and no one was afraid of Spain anymore. Spain fought to regain their honor in the 2018 World Cup. They were slick with their passes. They passed the ball over 1,100 times against Russia in the round of 16 game, with Russia only completing 300 in that same game. However, Russia were the winner of the contest as they beat Spain on penalties. In the 2020 Euro, Spain looked better with a young, vibrant side that reached the semi-finals. They could have even gotten to the finals, but Italy were resolute in defense, and Alvaro Morata was characteristically wasteful. Then came the 2022 World Cup, and a return of 1,000 passes against Morocco, who beat them in their round of 16 game. Spain then hired Luis de la Fuente, a man who is both known and unknown. He is known for his work and victory with Spain's under-19s and 21s, as he led the two teams to winning the under-19s and under-21 Euros. He is unknown in the sense that he has never managed in La Liga. The last club side he managed was Alaves, and he was sacked just 4 months into the job in 2011. Spain's decision to hire De La Fuente was a masterstroke, and as this video goes on, you'll see why. Although, initially it did feel like Spain had gotten it wrong. De La Fuente got off to a flying start, but then Scotland smashed him in their second Euro 2024 qualifying match. The results sparked doubts, and questions were asked about De La Fuente's ability to lead Spain to the Euro. De La Fuente erased those doubts and answered their questions on the pitch the next time Spain played international football. He led his team to triumph over Italy in the semi-finals of the Nations League, and then went on to beat Croatia in the final. De La Fuente declared that Spain was just starting. It wasn't a false declaration. Their loss against Scotland would be the only match that Spain would lose in the Euro qualifying stages. They had some incredible victories, including a 6-0 demolition of Cyprus and a 7-1 humiliation of Georgia. Going into the tournament, Spain were in great form as they lost only one of their preparatory friendlies. Still, Spain were expected to struggle. They were in the same group with Italy, who had won the 2020 Euro. Croatia were the 2018 World Cup second-place team and also the Nations League finalists. Spain had to come with their A-game if they wanted to win anything in that group. Spain didn't bring their A-game. What they did was superior. They entered God mode. Croatia didn't even know what hit them. Spain were pressing Croatia relentlessly. Croatia couldn't find a way to beat Spain's press. It was only in the 22nd minute when Croatia could manage a shot, and 8 minutes later, Spain scored from a delightful Fabian Ruiz assist to Alvaro Morata, who buried the ball. Then Spain continued to pummel Croatia to make them submit. 3 minutes after their first goal, Spain added another goal with Ruiz dribbling past 2 Croatian players before scoring. Then, just before the first half ended, teenage sensation Lamine Yamal became the youngest player to assist in the Euro after providing a sublime cross into the box for Dani Carvajal to score. Spain were just beginning. They set their sights on Italy and raised their game even higher. They completely dominated Italy in that game and would have scored if they were just luckier and more lethal. They struck the post twice in that game. However, even if Spain's players didn't score, they forced Italy into conceding an own goal and held on for the win. Spain had full control of the competition now. They had qualified for the knockout round, and so their game against Albania should be less of a contest. Well, it wasn't. Spain made 10 changes to their starting lineup, and Albania couldn't get any joy. This is what I mean when I tell you Spain is also prepared to dominate football again. Their so-called second team didn't give Albania a chance to impose themselves. The scoreline ended up being 1-0, but Spain had proven that anyone on their team could do the job. Then against Georgia, Spain, who were always the first team scoring in the competition, got stunned when Georgia scored first. However, Georgia merely poked the bear. Rodri opened up the scoring for Spain, and it was a flood of goals against Georgia in that round of 16 match. Now, if fans thought it was just Georgia who Spain would beat since the qualification stages, Spain showed that they had quality in the next match, and that next match was against Germany. Germany were also favourites in the competition, and like Spain, they were a squad of young and old. They both played attacking football and had 2 forwards who took on defenders as much as they could. When the match began, the 2 teams went at it, gloves off. They were relentless, but it was Spain who drew first blood. Germany stayed in the game and equalised through a beautiful Florian Wirtz effort, but unfortunately for Germany, Spain scored during extra time. It didn't get easier for Spain. Their next opponent was France, who despite not being at their best, had an impressive defensive record. The match was highly anticipated, and the players added to the anticipation. Adrien Rabiot issued a challenge to Yamal and told him to improve his game if he wanted to have an impact when they played. Fans were excited and wanted to see how the battle between those two would go. Well, Rabiot ended up encouraging Yamal to be at his best. However, when France first scored, the midfielder must have thought he would have the last laugh. He didn't. He could only watch on when Yamal scored an outrageous curler right in front of him. The midfielder couldn't stop Yamal, who shimmied and did body feints before scoring that beautiful goal. That goal made Yamal the youngest goalscorer in Euro history, and it also allowed Spain to progress in the competition after a Dani Olmo exquisite turn and finish for the winner a few moments later. Spain were to face England in the final, and it was going to be a thrilling display with Spain expected to dominate proceedings. Euro's final. His goal, which was 69 seconds into the second half, is the earliest second-half goal a Euro final has seen. Cole Palmer drew England level with a beautiful driven shot, and it was game on. They did so without losing a game and only going behind twice. Spain were usually the team to open the scoring in the games they played, and this isn't the only impressive thing that they did. They scored 15 goals, 4 more goals than any other team, and none of those goals were penalties. They also didn't give their opponents an inch of freedom. With 76, they were the best team for regains within 40 metres of the opposition goal line. They were also led by other teams for the number of turnovers that led to a shot and for those that led to a goal. Spain were beyond impressive, they were emphatic, and De La Fuente was key. In 20 games that he has managed, Spain have only lost twice and drawn twice. As I mentioned before, De La Fuente is not truly known outside of his work for the Spain under-19s and 21s. Still, he managed to make Spain play so cohesively despite these guys coming from different clubs. How did he do this? De La Fuente knew most of the guys from those youth days. In his successful 2015 under-19s and 21s team were Rodri, the best player in the competition, Mikel Merino, who scored the winner against Germany in the quarter-finals, and first-choice keeper Unai Simon. Oyarzabal, who scored the winning goal in the final, Dani Olmo, who scored 3 goals in the competition, and Fabian Ruiz, who was one of the team's best performers. With his knowledge of the team, De La Fuente made them play the competition's best football and also helped make them champions. Now he has kick-started an era of dominance for Spain, which could see them win the World Cup. Or is it too early to say? Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more.